Hey everyone, David C. Anderson from KnifeCenter coming at you from SHOT Show 2022 here to check out some Bestech knives with Eric and Carlos. How you guys doing?
We're fantastic. Look, David, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you very much. I am a big fan of your channel. Been watching you for a long time, and so it's actually an honor to be sitting here today.
Oh, I appreciate that.
So I know Carlos feels the same.
You're not going to be able to actually butter me up.
Hey, got to give you the props when it's due.
I appreciate that.
But
we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you guys.
I absolutely agree. So thank you again. This is Bestech 2022 lineup. There's a lot of things here on the table. We're going to go through it. Now, there are a number of variants that actually we didn't bring here today, but you're going to see at least a little bit and piece of each one of these. The very first model we're going to talk about, this is the BT2201. This is the Vigil. This is designed by Kombu, who is an outside designer from Poland. He is fantastic. If you talk to Kombu, he's going to tell you himself, he likes to kind of overcomplicate things at times, but at the same time, just some beautiful lines, fantastic construction. This here is titanium on ball bearings. This is M390, and Kombu is fantastic. This is the first model from the BT premium lineup.
Definitely striking. I really like this back spacer here. A lot of detailing going on there while giving you that pass-through if you want to put a fob or something on it. And the other thing I really like about this is the angle of this blade going on. You're kind of straight back, but it gives you that bit of kick up. So if you're doing any kind of surface work, great for that sort of thing. Whether it's food prep or craft projects, that sort of thing, that's going to be really cool.
So again, that's the BT2201 Vigil.
Now, it's put together great, just like any of Bestech's premium stuff. Really cool. Really cool. Nice.
All right, well, Carlos, next, why don't you take it over? This is the BT2202 Supernova.
Now, I wouldn't call this basic by any means, but compared to the Vigil, it is a little bit more scaled down.
Not quite as busy, we'll say, if that's what we mean by basic. Yeah,
exactly. We'll now, and the reason why I wanted to say distinct in this particular case is because Bestech decided to go ahead and use zirconium on this particular model.
Nice.
You'll go ahead and find some zirconium on the bolster, as well as the pocket clip for this one. This is the Supernova, and it currently comes in two flavors. This is actually the one that we brought here to the table. If you notice, M390 steel, you'll have the stonewash flats with the satin finish blade, and it's a slightly smaller handle than the Vigil, but it does also come with the lanyard attachment here in the back, so that if you have some larger than medium hands, you can go ahead and attach a nice lanyard with a bead, make it yours, and just kind of get that nice grip on it. It's a beautiful flow and execution from the handle all the way to the tip of the blade, and very nice high quality on the Supernova.
Yeah, it feels good. I like the radius slight here. It's not just a flat scale going on, even without any kind of fob. I mean, you talk about your slightly over medium hands. I've got my slightly larger than average myself. Yeah, I don't get a full grip with my last pinky, but as opposed to my first pinky, you know what I mean. But it feels good. It does not feel like it's about to slip out of my hand. I got to say that. Really elegant, great gentleman's knife pattern right there.
I love that blade shape. It's just a good utility shape, and I'm a big fan. I think that's a beautiful knife.
I like that you went with a liner lock on this, the inset liner there, because you get that same feel on the backside instead of the frame locking nature going on. Very cool.
So again, that's the BT2202 Supernova.
Very nice.
So moving forward, I'm going to break out the Costa. This is something that debuted at SHOT Show 2020. Carlos and I were able to cover this at the Bestech booth in 2020. And what you'll notice is this is in the BT premium lineup. Now, it's beautifully done, but unfortunately for some people, it just punches outside of their price range. So Bestech doing something really cool this year. They've actually brought some of these outside designers that typically design into the BT premium line. Well, now they're coming into the BG, which is the budget line, and I hate to say budget because
it's only budget by comparison. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's high value, great construction. But now here, this particular Costa, this is the BG45, but again, a Kombu design. And here you see very simple compared to what you get in the BT lineup. So Carlos, let's talk about some of the specs.
Definitely. Now, before I get into the specs, I do want to talk about, the feeling in the hand. like the Costa of old, or I guess you can say of recent present, there are a variety of ways that you can hold this particular knife. It does have this finger choil that's great. I mean, most of the time you get a finger choil on a knife, and it's kind of a hybrid between a sharpening choil and a finger choil. This one is a true finger choil that you can kind of choke up on the blade a little bit and use some of this jimping to get up, for those kind of up close and got a little bit more detailed cuts. But if you are used to the standard neutral grip, you can go ahead and come right back here and you get a nice purchase on there, and you can get that full use of the blade, even away from the finger choil. So that's something I did want to go ahead and point out about this. Now, the G10 on this, aside from the fact that it has the black G10 with the red G10 inlay for that little pop, you also have these lines that are actually milled into the G10 here, which add not only some comfort, but some extra grip. Because G10...
And even a little bit of visual flow to that as well. Just
definitely.
Kind of accentuates that motion.
Definitely. That flare is something that not only provides some visual, acceptance and that visual look, but it also provides some practicality, especially when you're using this for EDC tasks. Most of the people, when they were picking up the Costa, they're like, wow, it's a great knife, but that looks like more of a collector's piece, especially at the price it commands. So This is something that you'd be able to go ahead and use. It's running 154 CM. It's a nice quality steel, and it's going to go ahead and give you some great performance that you'd feel a little bit more comfortable using than the actual Costa of current.
Yeah, but without giving up that visual distinction or distinctiveness of that original model either.
Definitely.
I'm assuming, a couple different color combos, I'm sure.
You're going to get that, and they have lightened that a little bit. If you'll notice that it does have skeletonized liners in there. They did go with the liner lock, but if you notice also, the liners are a bit beefier than you would normally see for some of the budget folders, and I like that. It gives you a nice secure lock, and it also has, just like the standard Costa or the Costa from the BT line, it has the flipper and it has the finger hole, so that if you choose to go ahead and use a finger deployment, whether it's with your thumb or your index finger,
Let's
middle
see if
finger.
I mess up the middle finger or not.
There we go.
Always.
There we go.
Hey.
I'm more of an index finger user.
I
for
usually
that sort of
am
thing.
too, but they challenge me to get better at that, so I'm always trying.
There you go. You can go ahead and deploy it that way.
Yeah.
And it's a nice, snappy deployment, even though it does run on the ball bearing pivot. So,
one thing I want to bring up that I think is pretty important. This is the BG lineup. Again, we're not going to say budget anymore, right? But the 154 CM steel, Bestech really listening to customers who are saying that they're sick of D2. Well, I understand that. I got to tell you, I'm a big fan of 154 CM, man. I would put that on a premium knife and have no problem with it. So the fact that Bestech's going down this road in the budget line, that's telling you something.
It's definitely solid material, American-made material too. Really nice.
So again, that's the BG45 Costa.
Excellent.
So moving forward here, I'm going to see if you know, and you are going to know, but let's just hand it to you anyway. This is the BG40, but who do we have here? Look at it a little close, see if you know who we have in our hands.
Would this be a smock design?
Nope.
Oh, dang it. I don't know then. What do we got?
So this is Todd Knife and Tool.
Okay, yeah.
So
I should have looked at the pivot, huh?
there we
it's
go.
kind of interesting. It's subtle, but when you look at it, you go, okay, all right, I see. And what I like, again, we have the outside designers punching into the BG lineup. So here you're holding the BG40 Carlos. I'm going to give you the BG41. Now, you guys talk it through. You got a couple of differences in the blades here, but you also have some differences in the steels. Why don't you check them out?
Well, I'm looking at a canvas micarta handle on this particular one. 14C28N, good Sandvik steel right there. About a 3-inch blade, more or less, and that kind of modified sheep's foot shape. Full flat, tall flat grind, almost a full flat.
We were actually talking about that off camera, and I was talking about it being more of a Warncliffe style. He was saying the sheep's foot style, and we settled on sheep's cliff.
Thomas, what do you think?
Jeez.
You could probably have gotten away with calling that a reverse Tonto. That's one of those things. We did a thing like, what's the where do you draw the distinction between the two? Sometimes it's hard, like, because there's no hard and set rule all the time. But anyway.
So when Terrell was working on the design for this over at Todd Knife and Tool, he had a few things in mind And that's why Bestech went ahead and they executed different knife steels on the different versions. If you notice, on that one, that is the Sandvik 14C28N steel with the canvas micarta. On this version, it has that updated kind of a Bowie style clip point with the fuller, but this is actually running 154 cm, okay? And this one actually uses linen micarta. Now, there are G10 offerings. There's actually a very bright yellow G10 that goes with the sheep's cliff that I personally like. It's that you don't see too many nice bright yellow.
And you guys have done a few over the years. There's been a few good Bestechs with that yellow color.
Definitely.
Texel, Eye of Ra, I think it's coming in that good color.
Yes. Actually, those are two of the budget line that I love. I mean, just
they're
I
the
think
Texel especially, I think, is a great knife. It kind of has that sheep's cliff thing going on.
Exactly, yeah. So they took that yellow that's known from the Bestech logo, and they incorporated into the G10 scales every now and again. And Terrell said, you know what? Let's go ahead and put it on the Syntax. And so you will see that. But these are the more premium, and in my personal opinion, my preferable variant. I love micarta. So whether it's the canvas micarta or the linen micarta, you're going to get a great quality design from Todd Knife and Tool. They have that 3-hole signature design, so you're going to see it on the pocket clip as well as the knife. But I do understand where you came by thinking that it was probably the Kevin Smock design, because I do see that element in there, especially with the sheep's clip design.
You put me on the spot, and I wasn't ready for it, so yeah.
Definitely.
One other thing that I'd like to point out, and I like where Bestech is going with this, and again, listening to the customers, here you'll see the deep ride pocket clip, and on most of their BG line, even with a deep ride pocket clip, they haven't gone with the recessed screws, but in this case, they have done that. Helps cut down on some pocket snag, and I know that's what people are going to like. So
that's a really good move, and I'm glad to see more and more companies out there really paying attention to that. Because you've got not just the recessed screws, but the clip itself sits inset into the body, so nothing in the way whatsoever.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job, and glad to see it. So again, this is the BG40 and the BG41 Syntax.
Ball bearings in the pivot on this one as well?
Yes, sir, it is.
Yep. Excellent. Nice.
So moving forward, another outside designer. This one here, this is called the Titan. This is the BG49. This is designed by Keanu Alfaro. So this is an interesting take, and Carlos, I'm going to hand this one off to you again to give a little color commentary on this.
Now, David, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little scared about getting something incorrect on this one because I don't want to get snapped out of existence. And the reason why
I see what you did there.
There you go. Now, this is actually a design that Keanu based on Thanos' signature weapon when he was fighting the Avengers on Titan in Marvel's Avengers. Now, this is also 154 cm. It's going to come in a variety of flavors, scale and blade-wise, as far as finish. This one is going to stay at the 154 cm, but the one that I have here in my hand, it is a G10 and carbon fiber layered presentation side and clip side, but it's purely G10 and the carbon fiber on one side to kind of have that weight reduction. And on the liner lock side, you have that nested liner, so that gives you that opportunity to go ahead and have that sturdy liner lock without thickening the knife, just keeping it nice and perfectly balanced, as he said, as all things should be, right? So there you go.
So are the layers on the G10 carbon fiber we've got black and red layers going through. Are each of those black layers carbon fiber, or is it just on the surface layer? Do you know?
They are actually all carbon fiber.
Nice.
It's very thin layers of the red G10 and carbon fiber that are going into there. So then once they go ahead and they do that and they start to mill the carbon fiber on the top, it has that nice little that line that's not only for aesthetics, but it feels great in the hand and it gives you a little bit extra purchase when you're going to go ahead and use it.
It's going to make it real easy to get out of the pocket too. Even if you're wearing gloves, you get that little extra kind of serrations feeling going on. Not as in like a blade serrations, but you'll get that extra surface area and traction when you go to draw the knife too.
Definitely.
Cool.
A detail I'd like to add, and I think it's pretty important, this particular variant here, again in the 154 CM, but they also offer it in a D2 variant, and then also a nice Damascus. That's pretty cool. I think to put that type of detail, again, into the budget line just shows where Bestech's trying to go and the diversity they're trying to bring for their fans. So,
do you know what composition the Damascus they're using is?
I don't know offhand, but I'm sure we can get you those details.
Yep.
So,
I always like to ask. Yeah.
Yep. So
Nice.
again, the BG49 Titan.
Very cool. All right, so last but not least, this is something I've been particularly looking forward to checking out, Ostapel's new kitchen knife design.
Yeah, so the Zen Care line of kitchen knives is something that Bestech's been working on now for a couple of years. We're starting to see over the past year a number of different models coming out, and again, reaching out to their outside designers to bring some inspiration into this particular line. What a lot of people don't realize about Bestech, they are actually behind the scenes an OEM manufacturer. So they have experience in all kinds of different knives, not just the folders that you see with the Bestech lineup. So the Zen Care line of knives now coming into the kitchen lineup, and again, an Ostapel design. So Carlos?
Now, you pass it over to me because I'm a huge fan of Ostapel's designs. But one thing that really struck my attention on this one is immediately when you go ahead and you put it into your hand is the absence of any, pins, any screws, anything like that that could potentially create a hotspot when you're using a knife for extended periods of time in the kitchen. I don't think a lot of people realize it, but usually I come across people that have beautiful knives in their pocket, and when you go into their kitchen, it's usually $10, $15 cutlery. This is cutlery that not only functions well, but it feels great in the hand. And whether it's the version that is with the stainless variant at 14C28N steel, or the heart-shaped Damascus that I believe is proprietary to Bestech at the moment,
That's right.
you're going to get some good quality performance out of this chef's knife. And aside from that, I mean, you have the choice of the white or the black G10 handles with the red handle, the red bolster right here, that inlay that really is striking. I think that it gives it that nice little pop, and it allows you to be able to see that full tank construction the way that it's been designed in this particular scenario. Go ahead and check that out.
I'm a big, I do a lot of cooking myself, and I'm happy to see more kitchen knives out there that aren't just like the big brands that like you can get at any department store or whatever like that. Like this a lot. The balance is very nice in that kind of standard pinch grip. Kind of the facets on this handle, to me, it really helps you move that blade around in the kitchen because it gives you those kind of control surfaces going on. And it's really comfortable. You got a crowned spine, crowned section here at the back, so nothing's going to bite you when you're doing those grips. Love it.
Definitely.
Very cool. Is this a Damasteel product, or is this something they're putting together themselves?
I'm not 100% positive. All I know is they call it their heart Damascus, and when you look real close, you can clearly see the heart pattern. It is very cool.
It looks like we've got a core steel between the Damascus layers. We'll try to get a spec for that when these go up on the website.
Definitely.
Looks great. I mean, the 14C28N is a great steel for a kitchen knife, especially because you've got some really good toughness. If you're cutting through like chicken bones or something like that, you don't want something real chippy or fragile. So very cool.
So this is the model XC126. When you look at the Zen Care line, they do have a number of different models at this point, and so these are one of the early offerings for 2022.
Very, very nice. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Well, that's all we've got to show you for the moment. If you want to get your hands on any of these, there will be a link in the description to take you over to KnifeCenter.com. If the stuff isn't there yet, it should be shortly. Let us know what you think of these knives in the comments, and keep sticking around for more great SHOT Show coverage. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very much for your time.
Pleasure seeing you here.